Hey, Weekly Walk viewers. I have ventured to Canada for this Weekly Walk to hang out with Amir Jaffari, who is lead on growth workshops at Shopify. So, Amir, I have my first two questions before I even get into the three of them are, where are we right now in Canada? You brought me to Canada. I have no idea where I am. I went blindly. And then also you're going to have to explain a little bit about what your title means as
Yeah.
well.
So welcome to Canada. This is University of Toronto.
Okay.
Close to where I live, and it looks like Hogwarts. So when you
It,
said like send a picture of somewhere, I'm like, this is the best place to go and take a picture. So I just went
it
out,
looks
take a
I know,
picture.
and I have to say, you're so committed. You went out and specifically took this picture for this weekly walk.
Yeah,
So I'm
I-
very impressed. You might win for committed, most
yeah,
committed
it's
guest.
like 2 points.
I
No,
love it.
yeah,
All
so
right.
that explains that mystery.
Okay.
Now, what is Growth Workshop? Growth Workshop has two parts. For Shopify, we do a lot of stuff on third-party platforms like social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest. And for those, we have to create a lot of creative assets, whether it's videos or images, and then we have to make sure they kind of perform on these platforms. So part of it is measuring the quality of the assets we create and figuring out how to create these assets in a way that are optimized for each platform. So
Okay.
data side of things, production side of things, and then once we figure out some format or structure that works, how do we scale the production across all the languages that we want, across all the different offerings of Shopify? So, because if we used to do a lot of good work, but it would only work within one language, within that one asset that we
Mhm.
created. But then a lot of tooling that we can kind of generate thousands of assets based on like the structure that works. And then the other part of it is also infrastructure for growth. So like the funnel that we have is figuring out like an onboarding funnel on our own website that kind of works with a specific audience, and then trying to do that across different languages and across applying it, expanding it to different product offerings that we have.
All
So
right.
figuring out what works, expanding it. That's pretty
All
much
right. They fit a lot. You fit a lot under that lead on growth workshop title there. I'm impressed.
it.
Well done for that.
I
All
know.
right. So
Good
those
news.
are your teaser questions. Now we'll get into the real questions, the real big questions. So as of the past few months, I'm sure you've heard this from a lot of people, I have seen Shopify on my own personal computer a lot, which probably means I'm doing a little
Fine.
too much
Yeah.
online shopping. I'm getting a lot of Shopify codes, but obviously you are on the other side of that, you and your team and your colleagues. And I'd love to know just how things have changed for you and the team and the company as a whole, and, what you guys have been up to, keeping all of us buying all of these online purchases and, these companies who have pivoted how they're selling.
Yeah, well, for Shopify as employees, I mean, the shift probably has been a little bit easier than a lot of other companies because we
Mhm.
always had that work from home or remote work, or a lot of our people were in different cities. So that was kind of natural. Obviously, I'm not a
Yep.
big fan of working from home as much
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
not
me
working
either.
from home. Like it was nice for the first 2 months, but
Yeah.
then on the, what's happening on Shopify from the people who want to start Shopify stores, it's very interesting to see how many number of people are coming in, because I think someone shared a stat of like it took from 8 years to go from like 5 to 15% of e-commerce penetration. So 8 years of that it took to go from 5 to 15, and then it took about 10 weeks to go from 15 to 25.
Wow.
And that so now a lot of the people who didn't consider having a Shopify store or online store, or e-commerce store, now considering it, and a lot of people were kind of seeing it as a nice to have. Now it's like a must have.
Yeah,
So
very much so.
it's interesting to see how fast we're adapting, but also the new businesses that are coming on. So we have to
Yeah.
also build up our product to cater to all these businesses that we were not really focusing on before. And
Yeah.
then on the customer side of things, a lot more people are buying stuff. So we launched a few products to help people like track shipments, find stores that they would like with the Shop app,
Yeah.
and then even find local businesses they can support. So
Got
it's
it.
been very busy.
Yes, I can imagine. Great. I'm glad I know I can track all my shipments that I'm buying too. Life is good. Probably I don't need any more things from you guys. I need to stop using your platform. All right. So you had mentioned in what you do, and also I know, I love using video, or as you call them, social assets, and you're certainly more of an expert in this space. than I am. So I think I should hire you probably as a consultant for me personally. But on, particularly for companies on the early stage side, video has become increasingly important and just sort of social in general. How, in your opinion, can they sort of appropriately leverage or tap into these social platforms to help them drive demand for their products and in turn, acquire new customers, especially now?
Well, I think that like one thing that I've kind of, even before I joined Shopify, I was working with a lot of YouTubers, and I think that
Yeah.
kind of gave me a good perspective of really separating out social platforms and like what you do in paid and what you do organically. Because with paid, you have the ability to really target people. Organically, you don't. And the big win in organic, obviously there is like the default that everybody does their social channels in terms of like, this is our product updates and normal tweets that if you really know what this company is about, you understand.
Yeah.
But then if you want to have a mass reach through Twitter or YouTube, and that's really the benefit of these social platforms, you got to go where the people are. So instead of trying to kind of focus your content from like what you've already created. So a lot of times companies are like, okay, we made this video, or we had this event, we recorded this thing, or we have this white paper. How do we get a lot of people to download it? Which is kind of like backwards way of thinking about it. And I think instead you got to go and say, what are the opportunities within each platform and which platforms have the audience that we care about? And then create the content to match the audience instead of chasing the opportunity, find the opportunity and then build something for it, which I think is very consistent with product-led growth. You don't try to kind of build something and then figure out how to promote it. You try to find opportunities to tap into an opportunity.
That makes sense. I didn't even pay him, folks, to say product-led growth.
I'm keeping track.
You are, and I have to say, Amir, we love you at OpenView. You know that, but Amir is he's the best. So don't bombard him and take him away from. We love him at OpenView. You've been great. And then my last question for you is, if you were any superhero, who would you be and why?
Well, two that are most generic, but I like Batman and Superman, but both of them for the same reason. I mean, Superman, obviously, if you really want to, I really like that he has probably all the superpowers and no real downfall besides kryptonite, which is who has kryptonite. And then Batman's the most realistic one. Like, he doesn't really have any superpowers, so it's like the most achievable one, but he's still a superhero. So it depends, like, if anything is possible, Superman. If you're living in real world,
Batman. Okay. Or just like some combination of the two.
Yeah, a combination of both. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. I don't even know who I'd be if I was a superhero. So I probably should figure that out before I'm asking people that question. So awesome. Amir, thank you for weekly walking with me. Thanks for letting me come to Canada, sneak across the border into Canada. And we'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.